Last week we left you with this beautiful sunset as we were crossing from the Dominican Republic to the Bahamas. This week we make it and check in, so stay tuned and let us know what you think in the comments below. Good morning!
We survived the night, guys. We made it all the way to
Matthew Town.
We're not tired at all.
No.
Erica slept like a baby.
I was on watch from about sunset time to about 1 a.m.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
And then I was feeling really tired and I saw Davy roll over. He was asleep. And I said, "Are you awake?" He said, "Yep." I said, "Sweet." So, change places.
I didn't sleep very well though because Fox was cuddled in and she was so wiggly. So I couldn't really sleep. But I got a little bit of a nap towards the end, so it all helps. But anyway, now we're approaching Matthew Town and we've spoken to the harbour master George, and we've been told to sit on anchor out the front because there's something going on with a fuel delivery that ran late or something yesterday. I think maybe there's a load of boats here that are waiting for fuel, so we've just been asked to sit patiently on anchor, which no problem. We can quite happily sit and wait a little while and just look at the scenery.
Yeah.
And then we'll get called in on channel 16 when he's got space for us.
So that's one thing that we managed to do when we were still in Luperon. We met another family who had just come from the Bahamas, and they had one of these Wi-Fi puck things. So we bought that off of them for like $10. Normally they're $90 and then $30 for the SIM card. We got it for $10. So we topped it up with some data. So as soon as we were about 9-10 miles out, probably sooner if I'd been awake. But we had Wi-Fi, so we were able to update our family, friends, and our patrons. So.
All right. I need to get back to my charts.
All right. Look at that view. So this is Great Inagua. We were here about 3 years ago on our old boat just before we left to go to Jamaica. I'm excited to see if there's been any changes or just really to see it again. We enjoyed it very, very much the last time we were here. Where are we, Fox?
Are we in the Bahamas?
The Bahamas! Yay! Someone's being all happy and chappy.
I am so happy, guys. We made it all the way here and I didn't have to go in the engine room once. So, but first thing I do now though is jump in and check. And so port side, fantastic, no issues. Coolant's all still there, oil's all still there, belts are still good. So everything's great. Starboard side, we survived by the skin of our teeth. There is a cooling hose which has a small clamp on it. It's not even a clamp, it's an open shaped one. I don't know, it's kind of difficult to describe. But anyway, it's the engine itself holds it in the right place, which didn't happen, and this has happened one time before, so I should have put a cable tie on it. And it jumped off and it rubbed up against the belt and very, very, very close to going through the hose. So I am going to repair that hose or strengthen it in that area, and I'm also going to put a cable tie on it. Also, we have been burning some oil on this engine. We have used, I'm not sure how much because I haven't topped it up yet, but we definitely have gone through a little bit of oil, but the oil sensor alarm hasn't gone off yet. It didn't get that low, but there's a slight hint of smoke coming from this oil from this engine. So I'm going to sort that out so that we're ready to maneuver whether or not we're going to go into this marina or if we're going to go and drop anchor in a different location, because we have just looked. You can see the bottom, it's 25 foot deep and you can see the bottom, and now we've looked down, we've just anchored on a load of rock, so we're going to have to move if we're going to stay on anchor. But we were so excited to get here, we just dropped the hook. All right, anyway, I'm going to get this engine room stuff done and then we can try and get ourselves checked into the country.
And I'm going to show you the water is beautiful. Look at that. It's so beautiful. What do you think, Fox? Happy? Last time in Matthew Town, we went into the marina. So the marina here is awesome. It's still only $10 a day, but there is no power or water included with that. It is a great facility, and this time the immigration, they came right to us to check us in. It was fantastic. One of the downsides is you do have to climb like a monkey to get up onto the dock. You have to climb up the poles. So this time we decided to stay out on anchor. We didn't need to fill up with water or gas because we had all that when we came from the Dominican. So we stayed out on anchor. We dinghied in to do check-in process, which was super easy. And look at that water again. It's stunning. Alright guys, so we're all checked in with Immigration and Customs. So now we're going to head to a little bay with some friends of ours, where it's a little bit more protected than just out in the open, and enjoy some of this beautiful water. It's awesome. Oh, just there?
Yeah. It's just prettier than being right out the front of that, isn't it? God, look at that. I'm real people's height.
Oh, you're tall. That's weird.
Yeah, that'd be like DJ and Tanika, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Hi.
Hi. Hey, morning guys. Alright, so we have made it to the Atkins Islands.
Acklands Islands?
Acklands, I can never say that right.
No. Castle
Anyway,
Island is
yeah.
what it's called.
It's a lovely, lovely place. We didn't really film much yesterday. Erica, unfortunately, was feeling a little bit under the weather. So I took the helm and got across here. It took about 11 and a half hours. And it was really quite rolly and horrible. We had everything right on the beam.
Yeah.
So it was a bit of a horrible, lumpy run. But anyway, we made it here. Erica's feeling better. And we've caught up with our buddy boats. You guys remember Journey, Andy and Sonia from Luperon. I've forgotten the name of the place.
The flag's in the way.
Alright, anyway, but they're just over here. So we finally caught up with them. They left a week before us, and now we've caught them up. So this morning we've decided the anchorage we're in is one where we found them, and it's turned a bit rolly. So this morning we are going to move the boats.
But being on a catamaran,
it's actually not too
okay.
bad on this, but for those guys didn't sleep too good because they said the weather changed in the night. We didn't notice. I slept like a log.
Yeah.
So we've just done our engine checks and everything ready, so we can move to another anchorage, which is just about 4 miles away ish. So it should be slightly calmer. But first we need to take Doggo to the beach. Do you want to explain a little bit about what happened with Fox last time when we got here?
So as soon as we got here yesterday, we did go to the beach with Fox. Andy came over and me and Andy took her to the beach. So Fox is a special type of dog where she doesn't like the sound of waves. And I think yesterday, after an 11.5-hour crossing with waves coming,
yeah, we had
crashing.
we had a good 8-foot swells yesterday,
Yeah.
and they were crashing on the back of the boat.
So that might have freaked her out. And then when we got to the beach, then there's waves crashing along the beach. So Fox decided to do a runner, and she ran up the sandbank and into like the grassy field. And if you don't, so the Bahamas is a special place. They have these spiky things in the grass. They're not fun. They stick in your feet and
Little
they hurt.
burrs.
They hurt like hell. So Fox decided to run all the way up into this little field. I chased her up the up the sandbank, and she looked at me and she said, "Nah," and kept running. Finally, I managed to get her to come back to me. She jumped in the dinghy and safely back the boat.
Anyway, we've asked her now if she wants to go to land, and she said yes. Fox, you want to go to
land?
You want to go to land?
You want to go to land? You want to go to land? You're not going to run away again, are you?
You want a ball?
Good catch.
All right, let's go to the beach.
Let's go. Please don't run away again. Oh dear.
Never release the rope before you start landing. Look at that water. This is what it's about.
Fox, come here. Come here, Fox.
Come on in. Come. Drop it. Good girl, drop it.
Woo!
The sand on. Fox is ready. Fox is ready.
Here she goes.
Yeah. Good girl, come.
Come on, this way.
Come here. Come on. Why are we going to run through all the spiky bits? Can we picking them out your feet for a while?
Yep. Can you put that in your pocket? Look.
I don't know if it'll survive. They're quite delicate here. Put it in the box.
Sandal it. So we did come to this island about 3 years ago, and we anchored in the same spot just out front just before we headed towards Hog Sty Reef.
That's when we were with Bliss.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi Harry, darling.
Now I lost my train of thought because you interrupted me.
I'm going to get out there. I'm not allowed to talk.
Well, because you always interrupt me.
Oh, yeah.
People always tell him off for interrupting me because I'm the better half, you know. So he just needs to learn to. He's gonna throw a stick at me.
They're like little antlers. I need some more.
So anyways, where was I? So we were here about 3 years ago, so we explored up around the lighthouse on the end. So I'm actually going to show you a little bit of the drone footage that we took from then. It's beautiful here. So instead of exploring that same area, we're going to go and explore down the beach further and see what else is on this island.
One of those cool shells, but it's a bit old.
What?
That's a shit one.
It's really heavy! Eek! Gross! Where is she? Right there.
Oh, where? Did you go up? Oh, what are you doing there, hon? Is that too white?
That one's better.
Foxy's ready. Ready. Come on in. A little rabbit. Yeah,
And then she runs back up the hill.
No, an overarm throw is not going to skip, is it?
Alright, so she knows where the dinghy is at least.
Yeah.
On the way back to the boat, we decided to explore a little bit by sea. So on the starboard side of Journey, Andy and Sonia's boat, there is a sunken ship. So remote Castle Island is off the southernmost tip of Auckland's Islands in the Bahamas. It has a conspicuous 1867 lighthouse, once used as a retreat of pirates who attacked ships in the nearby passage. The lighthouse is approximately 5 miles away from the main settlement of Salina Point. The population of the Auckland's Islands was 565 people in the 2010 census. Since then, there was Hurricane Joaquin that affected the island in 2015. After that, a lot of people have left island, and the population is much less than that now. As for this sunken ship, the only info I can find about it online is that it is a wreck of a Belizean freighter that went aground quite a few years ago. It sits in about 12 feet of water and is in relatively good shape. It was carrying shoes, and apparently you'll find lots of shoes along the beaches. We didn't see too many shoes along the beach, but you never know, they may have been washed away.
I think when this thing crashed, someone forgot to light the lighthouse that day, because otherwise it'd be quite obvious how loud it is.
Yeah.
Alright, let's go move anchorages.
I've decided to go back in time a little bit and show you a little clip from Hog Sty Reef when we went there 3 years ago. Hog Sty Reef is one of our favorite places in the Bahamas, and unfortunately the weather wasn't correct for us to go there this time. You have to have the perfect weather, otherwise it's a disaster out there. Charles Darwin first developed a hypothesis about how atolls form, describing an atoll as a more or less continuous reef surrounding a distinct lagoon. Lagoons may contain small patch reefs, as does Hog Sty Lagoon. In the Pacific, where they are far more common, atolls form when volcanic islands in the underlying subfloor subside. As the island sinks, the fringing reefs around the island continue to grow upward, becoming a barrier reef surrounding the lagoon. Atolls in the Caribbean are typically not volcanic in origin. Scientists refer to them as pseudo-atolls. I'm probably not pronouncing that correctly. However, they do have true atoll characteristics: an outer reef, a perimeter reef, and a central lagoon. The outer reef starts in deep water with shallower portions subject to ocean swells that break around the circumference of the entire atoll. The bottom depths around Hog Sty Reef reach an incredible 1,800 meters. Reef-building corals start to grow in roughly 50 meters of water, rising up to within a meter of the surface. On Hog Sty Reef, there are two sandy islands in the perimeter rim, Northwest Key and Southwest Key. Northwest Key is the larger of the two sand islands, and it stands slightly higher at about 4 meters above sea level. The top of the key is covered in low, hardy vegetation and the ruins of an old lighthouse. The Hog Sty Reef lagoon is shallow, generally 6 to 8 meters, and measures approximately 5 miles across at its widest point. We have been so lucky to have the chance to come to Hog Sty Reef. Not everyone gets this opportunity. Our buddy boat journey, they did get lucky and they got a good weather window to go to Hog Sty Reef. This was the weather window we actually used to cross from the Dominican Republic to Matthew Town. While they were there, they had an abundance of sharks, lemon sharks, bull sharks, Caribbean reef sharks, black tips, you name it, they saw it. It was a fantastic experience for them, and I'm very happy they had the chance to experience it. This is one of two impressive shipwrecks on the reef. It is a Liberty ship with a name that is very hard to pronounce. It wrecked on the northern part of the reef, 17th of July, 1963. Okay, so now back to real time. So we lifted anchor to leave Castle Island and we're heading up to a little bay called Jamaica Key. It'll be about 30 nautical miles to get there, and we're looking forward to the white sandy beaches that people have told us about. So as this clip is playing, we were hoping to see the launch of a SpaceX rocket. I believe we are a little bit too far south in the Bahamas to see it, but we were really keen. We had a look out. It was supposed to launch at 11:17, and it did launch at 11:17, but we couldn't see it, unfortunately. But we were really excited. So maybe we will get the chance as we get further north in the Bahamas. We might get to see a launch.
He's a big bugger. He followed me right on my butt.
What is it?
Huh? Barracuda.
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 How's the anchor?
Yeah.
How's the anchor?
Anchor's good.
Yeah.
It hasn't buried deep. The tip is in, but it's some really soft sand and it's sitting there. If we move anyway, if we reverse on it, it'll dig right in. All right, I'm coming up.
There's a barracuda. He's following you.
There it is.
Yeah.
He was right on my butt the whole way. Just waiting for him to go chunk. Take a piece of butt cheek. So he's coming out. It must be about 2.5 foot. Bigger than he looks from here, I can tell you that.